So, out of curiosity, what made you want to move out of the U.S.?
Ooh, that's a big question.
Hey, Jamie Woods, we here to travel and motivate. No curry, we just trying to keep our minds in a golden state. We answer to nobody but the Lord, we control our fate. Too many things to see just to sit in a hole and bake. We growing, ayy.
But basically, can you tell everyone where you're from and your humble beginnings?
Sure, yeah. I think my accent giving me away a little bit, but I'm from Ukraine and I started working on a cruise ship, like to begin with, for a couple of years. And that was my kind of trampoline to go to US because that gave me some experience of traveling, of seeing countries. So then I went to US and I lived in US for 8 years. And yeah, now I'm back in Europe. That's in short.
So, out of curiosity, what made you want to move out of the U.S.?
Ooh, that's a big question. But so I lived only in New York, and it was very, very fun, especially for like first 5 years, 6 years. But I always wanted a little bit slower lifestyle, less people, less activities. Like I wanted less things, less stuff, and it's just too big of a city for me. It was perfect in my 20s, but now I'm in my 30s, and I'm like, okay, have to think for, like, I don't know, something for my soul. I need like different pace. Too fast. Yeah. So, and yeah, I think the city was the main issue. I wouldn't mind to live somewhere maybe in California or Florida. It was nice. I did like it a lot, but I feel more in common with expats, with people who travel a lot. So New York was good for that. Like people are well traveled. But yeah. Also, my husband, he wanted always to live in the country where we can make money outside, and then we live in different countries where his currency is like we can afford more things in Spain versus New York. In New York, we were like, okay, everything is tough. Like rent is expensive, food, and here we can do more with the money we make.
I like that because I feel like there's a lot of my viewers and people in the audience that probably are interested in that same lifestyle. Like they're probably like traveling around the world to figure out what location, what city, like best suit them for them to like live there long term. So can you talk about what your process was like when you decided? Well, first off, actually, besides the cost of living in Spain, because I know the cost of living in Spain is much less than New York City, where I'm at right now. But besides that, what were some other key factors that led you and your husband to move to Spain?
So we still not settled. We still considering other countries as options. So we started our journey. We left New York in the end of November last year, and we went to Uruguay. We lived there for a couple of months.
Oh, wow.
Then, yeah, we went to Brazil, then we went to Peru, we came back to Brazil, and then we went to Europe. And
I guess you like Brazil.
I did. It was the best out of all.
Oh, no way. You thought Brazil was the best?
Absolutely best. I love.
And not that I'm surprised about that, by the way, before my Brazilian people come at me. You guys know I love Brazil, but I just think it's cool that someone else agrees with me and thinks that Brazil is also a great country.
It is. I think it's one of the most beautiful cities I've ever been. It's Rio, and I've been in many cities. So yeah, so I think Brazil has like I left a piece of my heart in Brazil. I think everybody who goes there and have these old experiences understands what I'm saying, because it's something special. Other countries are fun too. It's just very different, and all countries are interesting to visit. It's just not as much fun as Brazil.
Is it because of like the culture, the beach lifestyle? Is that like what you found most fun about Brazil?
Good question. I think it's a combination of nature with views, because I love mountain, I love beach, and all these things. Like the people were super warm and friendly, and of course, it's like the food and amount of things that like to do, like touristy things, not touristy things, local things. I felt it was like very saturated. It felt a little bit like New York, but if you want it to be like New York, you can. Also, we went during carnival season. It was a little bit,
Ooh,
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, it was wild. It was, yeah, I've never experienced anything like that before, so it was special. But carnival is something else. I think Rio, when it's not carnival, is very different from Rio during carnival. So
That's great though. I'm glad that you got to spend a little bit of time in Brazil, that you liked it, that you actually been to several different countries. You said you've been to Peru, Uruguay, which is a very interesting country. I heard good things about Uruguay, by the way.
yeah.
And in terms of Europe, Spain was the first country you guys have stayed in when it comes to Europe.
Yeah, I lived a little bit in Portugal too, so I can compare. I've visited France bunch of times, Italy bunch of times, but I feel like Spain has it all. Like
Yes.
I'm kind of, because there are like beautiful places, good things to see in every single country, absolutely. But if you want something that is like very like high level of life, like it's a rich country, like if you compare to even Portugal, so it's like good level of life, like a lot of things to do. The food is amazing. You probably know. Yeah,
The tapas.
yeah, the tapas, oh my god. So yeah, I would say like price and quality, Spain is very good for me. Only one interesting, it's like not obstacle for me, but it is a little bit difficult, that it's not as much English as you would want to be. It's mostly Spanish. Even like I love going to museums, I love going to some shows and places, but most of those things will be in Spanish, and you have to or look very carefully or be prepared that it's going to be in Spanish. Like it's different in Portugal. In Portugal, there is, in Lisbon and Porto, there is more English.
Okay, and would you say that Spanish people, specifically in Valencia, would you say that they're welcoming towards tourists, or would you say that they're like kind of rude towards tourists?
Oh, people are so sweet here. Like even in Valencia. So we've been in Madrid, and in Madrid it's a little bit different style of the city. It's closer to New York, lots of people, lots of tourists. Same in Barcelona, but Valencia and like smaller cities, they are more tourist friendly. They would like go out of their way to make sure like you are okay. They will smile to you, especially if you don't speak Spanish. I think it's a good thing here, because they kind of like think that you are like you're a tourist, and they kind of think it's sweet. But it depends where you go. If you go in, I don't know, Barcelona, you're not gonna get the same treatment. Of course, on a grand scale of things, it's not as good for locals, because if the tourists come, they start buying here and the prices go up. So locals, they cannot afford anymore the housing on the rate it was before. But immigration is inevitable, and yeah, I don't think it's, they do have this protest against Airbnb in Barcelona, Madrid. So yeah, it's happening. But I feel like in Valencia for now, because there's no yet straight flight to Valencia. There is like you have to go to Madrid and then fly to Valencia.
Wow.
Why it's not as many Americans here? It could be.
I guess it's a good thing, actually, though. The more Americans, the more known it
Prices
gets.
go up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the more prices go up, which is why a lot of locals in Barcelona are angry, specifically because I saw a video of like people, Catalonians from Barcelona, going to like random restaurants and like shooting tourists with squirt guns. Like they would have like squirt guns with water and start squirting at them and stuff. Like, get out of our country. I don't know if you saw on TikTok, but it went viral.
Oh no, I haven't seen that. That sounds crazy. I got like the gun, the squirt gun in Peru, but it
What?
was
Someone squirted it? Well, it sounds weird, squirted.
squirted. Yeah. So this kind of okay. It wasn't the squirted gun. It was
the water gun.
No, it was this tradition.
Oh, it was like a BB gun?
No. So I'll tell you. Apparently, the time when I was there, it was kind of big celebration in the village, and all locals, they would carry with them some buckets with water, and they would throw water on you with no warning. And it was pretty cold, like it was a cold weather, cold day.
Oh,
it was in Cusco, in Peru. So we went there with my friend, and we were about to go to Machu Picchu trip. So we were like, we're ready for 2 days hike, wearing all these things, like going there. And then we see all these people with buckets of water. And then we see all these people absolutely wet, like head to toe. And we were like, what is happening? And then this guy running behind me with a big bucket of water, like my friend saved me. She was like pulling me away. I just got a little bit wet, but it could have been disaster because the bus is going on time. Like I don't have any spare clothes. It was so shocking, but it was not the bad thing. It was not like against tourists, like per se, but they definitely saw that I look like a tourist, and they wanted like to, like, I don't know, show that they don't care about tourists or something, because that's the time when they can actually legally do that.
I don't know. That sounds a little messed up that they would do that to tourists, you know?
Yeah. Because like I can see like why they were doing something like that, but it was mean. It wasn't nice. It wasn't like, like a splurge, like a small sport. It was just like a mean thing to do. Like it was like a revenge thing. I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like this is a problem worldwide right now, where there's a lot of massive immigration, people leaving their countries to go to other countries, and the locals of the countries are getting angry about that.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're going right now. Is there's going to be a little bit of friction in the world, because the thing is that a lot of people want to leave their country nowadays. Like there's a lot of Americans right now that want to leave America. And the thing is, there's a lot of foreigners that don't understand why an American would leave America. Like, why would you want to leave America, But as you said earlier, the fast-paced life here, like right now, I'm getting older. I just turned 30 not long ago. I've always dreaded turning 30 until I turned 30. I'm like, you know what? This isn't the worst thing in the world, because when you turn 30, like you're still very young, but now you're making more money than when you were 20.
Absolutely.
So it's the best of both
worlds. New 20s with money.
It's your new 20s. You're just as young, just as healthy as you are in your 20s, except you're making more money. So there's more benefits to it. But yeah, there's mass immigrations going on right now. But do you predict that this digital nomad life, the digital nomad culture, do you predict it's going to grow and become bigger than what it is?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think it's going to be more nomadic people. It's going to be more traveling and moving around. And I do understand what local people feel. I can see where they're coming from. But in the same time, I'm like a very individualistic person. And I think if you don't like something, you make a change. So, and they're like, why me? But you know what? It's hard. Like, even like, I don't know, it's hard to say, but if I was an American, people coming from other countries, you know, like I cannot stop the immigration. I don't want to be mean to other people. So I just do my best at wherever I am. And if I hate it, I just move, you know. Why would you stay and suffer and complain? And people like do that a lot. They just complain and don't change anything. And that's what is interesting. Even in Ukraine, like there's a war right now, so you have a very legit reason to leave. But a lot of people think that like, okay, I can withhold, I can stand. But people who decided to live, like to escape, they still like they have to go somewhere. Like it's not like, I don't know, they have these options and they can live anywhere. So I like back to your question, I do think it's going to be more people who want to leave US for some reason, political reason, any other reason. People going to want to leave US, but a lot of people want to move to US too, and it's hard because I've been there too. It's so hard to get a visa, to get the work visa, to get permit, to get this. So it was so much effort, and you're like, okay, is it worth it for me? Maybe I can be better somewhere else, you know? So it's a lot of things that you need to consider before making the move. Yeah. Yeah.
The way I view the United States right now is I view it as a revolving door. So what I mean by that is like people come in, people go out. People come in, people go out. So like what you were saying, there's a lot of people leaving the United States, but there's a lot of people coming into the United States. So the United States will never have a lack of people because everyone and their mothers want to come to the US for the opportunities. And that's totally understandable. But the way I view the United States right now, and I've said this over and over, like, and don't get me wrong, before I say the comment, I want to say I'm very patriotic, even though I'm wearing an Italian shirt. But
oh, I haven't.
Yeah, I'm wearing an Italian shirt.
Italian.
Mamma mia. But I love America, okay? I love the United States of America. I have to say that before I say what I'm going to say, because people misinterpret things and they act like you're anti-patriotic when I'm not. I love this country and I love everything it's done. However, the way I view America right now is I don't view this as a place to live long term. It's just not a healthy place to live long term because of the culture here, the work culture. They're working you until you're in the grave. Like if you allow them to work you, like if you allow them to stress you out, they will. And that's how it is. There's so many people that are working 3 jobs, 2 jobs to make sure they have a roof over their heads. Like they don't even have a social life. They barely see their family. That you barely even, like in Thanksgiving, for example, it boggles my mind that people unfortunately have to leave halfway through dinner or lunch or whatever it is on Thanksgiving to go work at Best Buy or Target or whatever it is for Black Friday. And I said, come on, like even in things like Christmas, like it's not even about celebrating the holiday. It's about gifts and going and shopping and getting a bunch of gifts. Like nothing here in America is about heart and family, if that makes any sense. Everything here is mostly about money and finding ways to get money out of you. So the way I view America is I'm here to make as much money as I can and go somewhere else with it because I could live a way better life outside.
Absolutely. Yeah. When I actually, I'm a little bit shocked from the way like Spanish people and European people live. First of all, they take full month off in August. They just like right now, everything is closed. Plus, everything is closed on Sundays because it's a family day and it's very important. It's like religious day. Every Sunday, family day, nothing is working, no work whatsoever. Plus, okay, it's a thing for Spain, but it's like siesta thing. And sometimes they have fiesta holidays. So a lot of restaurants, they open at 11, they work until like 1:30, maybe 2:30, hopefully. Then they close. Then they reopen at 8. And then they work for 2 hours. And I'm like, and then they Sunday off. And they're like, no, Monday, Sunday off. And I'm like, guys, when are you working? Like, what is it?
Hmm.
What is happening? And then it's like siesta one day, and you see this note: we are off, like all August. August we going on holiday, and I'm like, okay, great. So they have very good culture about like not working as
Hmm.
much. I think like they maybe spend less, but they also don't think that work, like they don't do like just 2 3 sittings like we do in New York. I used to work in a bar, like in a restaurant, and a bar too, and it was crazy. It was like so bad, like fast and like service, like okay, next, like it was so busy. And here somebody can come to the restaurant, get one sangria for 250 and sip sangria all day, and nobody say a word to them. Like they got sangria, they sitting, enjoying their life, and fine. So such a different lifestyle and absolutely different values. And yeah, like family comes first, like friends time. Like I feel it's way chill, more chill and easier, because in US it was like always like faster, you comparing yourself to your friend, to your this, and
Exactly. Hmm.
in here it's kind of different. There are some very rich people who have like villas and stuff, and you're like, oh cool, it's nice to have this yacht. But on the average, it feels more like you don't need to go crazy. You don't need all these insane things to be happy. I don't know. That's how I feel. In US, it was a lot of external pressure. Yeah. So for me personally, but in the same time, I'm saying this. But when I was in Latin America, I did miss US a lot, because things are so easy. Like the way everything is built, like you don't need to work too hard to get some things. You order something, it gets delivered next day. You get like things at night if you want. You get your ice drinks, like so much ice.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Thing is
Yeah.
working, like all this viral TikTok videos, and it's true. So many things are good in US, and US is a beautiful country. It's so much to see, so much to travel. But I'm 100% agree with you that you have to make your money in US. And
Go out of there. And the thing is, you know what the problem is? There's just so much that you said that I want to comment on. But the thing is, once you, I made a video the other day actually. Let me start off by saying this. I made a video on Friday saying that traveling or dating overseas is one of the worst things you could do. Because the thing is, once you get experience to that, once you get exposed to that, it's very hard to come back to America and just settle for what you have here. Because the thing is, our money goes longer in other countries. The lifestyle is much more different than what it is in the United States. And you can probably find more success dating in other countries than what you do here in America. So I
that's
was
a
saying, like, yeah, what were you saying, Kat?
That's true about dating, yeah. Um, I have a lot of girlfriends, and they like swiping. I don't know. We were swiping with my girlfriends yesterday, and she
In
was like,
Spain?
"Oh, American." Yeah, she's in Spain,
You
and
made friends in Spain?
no, she is.
Oh, she lives in Spain.
She came to visit.
Oh,
We went to the aquarium today, like the famous one, the most famous one in Europe, the Valencia aquarium. So, and we were like swiping, and she's like, "Oh, he's American." So swipe, like like for her, it's like a fun thing, to go on a date with American guy. And it was so funny because it's like so many Spanish people, like other people, and like I don't know. I feel like it's interesting to go on a date because you're American. Like for a girl, it gonna gives you like something extra, because in US you're one of the other guys. It
mm-hmm.
gives a
Yeah.
little bit of advantage here, because it's something different. Yeah. Yeah, about dating.
Yeah, because that's the video I made. Because the thing is, I want men to have the understanding that there are bad things about traveling and dating overseas, even though it may not seem that way. Because people are like confused, like, what's so bad about meeting beautiful women and all that and living good overseas? And it's because when you come back to America, you go back to reality, and that hits people differently. Like, for example, in the beginning, when I first used to travel and come back to America, I used to feel so depressed. But now that I come back to America, I feel more motivated because I want to be able to work as hard as I can to save up as much money as I can and go overseas more often, or possibly even live overseas, because that's where I'm happiest. I don't feel too happy here anymore, to be honest. I don't feel happy at all, really, in the United States. Like, besides being with family, which makes me happy, and friends, besides that, I'm not happy here because I'm not able to live the life that I want here because the cost of living here is ridiculous, especially New York City. You're paying $2,000+ for a shoebox of an apartment.
Absolutely.
That has rats in it and stuff and all that, and you're just paying for the location. Like, a lot of the time you don't pay for the apartment in America, you pay for the location you're in.